I ended up with this Wista 4x5 field camera. The bellows is wrecked. Not very happy at all. You can see here, see all these patches here? This is where I have repaired it. Before I purchased the camera, I searched online for new bellows, and the new bellows were, I forget, but it was about as much as I paid for the camera. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through the process of changing the bellows. I'm going to, well, I think I'll remove the front stander completely. I'll remove the front stander from the camera completely. There we go, put that out of the way. I'm going to close the camera up. And remove the back on this camera. The back is removed by sliding these clips out. There we go, that's the back of the camera. I'm doing that because it's glued on the inside there. So I have to basically cut the bellows out and then glue it back in again. So let me get my blade. Now I'm going to try and remove the bellows and keep it in. Don't just rip the bellows out, because you'll need to be looking at it to work out how the new one's got to go in. The front of the bellows is screwed in, right? The front of the bellows is screwed in, that's the easy part. It's getting it out of the back that's the hard part. So see there? I've got to get that. It is glued in nice and very nicely. Okay, so that's the old bellows, and you can see I've just got to do a bit of clean up inside there to get the old paper out. Cool. Okay, so here we go. When you get the bellows, when you get a new bellows, it's normally they make it long enough, but they leave a bit of extra. Well, what I'm trying to say is when you get a new bellows, there's always some assembly required. It just doesn't drop in. Okay, that'll have to do. Okay, the bellows. This is the new bellows. Let's open it up. Now, open it carefully, because we don't want to cut it. It would be quite possible to cut the bellows even before we put it on. Now, there was something that I didn't do, which I should have done, which was made a note of which way the pleats go. Let me talk about this. Let's talk about how the bellows work. Beauty. You can see that the bellows is pleated. It's got pleats, right? And at the ends here, right? I mentioned earlier that there's always a bit of some assembly required with these. The reason this is because they leave extra at the end, and that's what you trim when you put it on. Now notice here that this bit goes, well, let's talk about the bellows. There's bits that go up and there's bits that go down. So this is the uppy bit. If I glue that onto there, I've got to watch where I glue it on and which way. So that it could go on there, it could go on there. What you do is, well, actually this is what you do. Do you see the seam? I don't even worry about it. The seam always goes to the bottom. So that's the way it goes on. So here's how you put the, now, There's another part of this, and that is this bellows has a removable front. What they did with this camera was they always have a removable front. They glue the bellows into the cheap one and they make it removable with the new one, so that you've got a reason to upgrade basically. See those little screws there? They're on the other side. That means that this metal comes apart, and it's a flathead screw. So let me get a flathead screwdriver, and I will. I haven't looked at this before, so this is all new to me, and I haven't never done one of these before. So this is all new and exciting for me as well. You're not really seeing much, are you? Anyway, we'll just do it, Paul. Just do it. Before I do that, where's the seam? So there's the seam there. Do you see the seam there? So that's the bottom. So with my marking pen, I'm going to mark this with top, T-O-P, T-O-P. See that? Top. Right? And I'm going to mark this with T and that with T, so that I can put it back the right way. Okay, we've got this. This is, well, it's worth seeing. When you take, you'll notice that when you take the bellows out of the camera, you don't really have a camera left. The bellows really is the bulk of the camera, which is why if you're buying large format cameras, you've really got to get one with a decent bellows. And if you, there we go. And if you don't have a decent bellows, it is a nightmare. There we go, one. You'll notice that that's covered in rubber. You can't really. That's all covered in rubber. That's from where I was patching the inside of the bellows to try and get it to work. Cool. So there we go. Now I have to separate this here. Where's my knife? Like the other one, I'm going to try and keep this as intact as I can. Now, here, let me talk about what I mean with the bellows and when you glue it in. See how this one is glued here so that that flat surface is down and then it goes up. This one is glued here so it goes down from the top, which means there's flat surface on the inside. So you've got to make sure that you leave enough to glue on the inside. Yeah, so don't go cutting your bellows until you've got it really sorted out. Here we go. This is popping. Great, excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. Let's go that. Okay, so I've got that piece of metal off. You can see it's got glue marks there, so that's had some contact adhesive put on it. There, you can see here where they've folded the bellows over. That's interesting. See that? So I'm going to have to make sure I do something similar. Okay. So, take a look at this. I'm getting this off. Now, I'm being very careful not to bend the... Now, notice that there is no glue. Oh, is there glue? Yes, there's glue on the inside of here. There is definitely glue on the inside of there. So there's glue on there. There's no glue on that one because that folds out from there. So glue, I'm going to write here, glue. G-L-U-E, glue. Oh, you see that? Now, that's interesting. That's black rubber. See that? Okay, so there's been a couple of different sorts of glue used on here, perhaps. Now, of course, with some cameras, you might buy it used and it's not the original Bellows anyway. It's very hard to tell. It's very hard to tell. Okay, got that. You do not want to bend this frame. Trust me, you do not want to bend this frame. So I'm being very gentle. You could be a little less sympathetic with the removal of the old one, but I want to keep it. This is going to sound a bit funny, but it's actually worth keeping this original Bellows and selling it with the camera, so that if Bellows are no longer available, somebody's got the original Bellows that they can work out what to do with. Okay, of course, one of the things is that, you know, there's one way of looking at this is we are but the custodians of these old pieces of equipment. And yes, they're cheap, and yes, they're reasonably plentiful, but nobody's making these anymore. Now, which was the outside and which was the inside? I wrote glue on it somewhere, didn't I? Cool. This is where it starts getting a bit tricky now. I don't think that had any glue on it. Look. Oh, do you know what that was? Do you know what that was? I said there was that black stuff. That black stuff was my Bellows repair. See in there? See that? So there is no glue on the inside here. There is no glue on this side here. Okay, good. Make a note of that. There is no glue on this side here, so I do not put glue on this side here. I only put glue on the other side. I only put glue on the other side. Okay, good. Make a note of that one. Excellent. That's why I say this is a good hobby. I mean, I've been on this for 3 or 4 hours now, and I'm having a great time. Okay, this is the side that had the glue on it. So, that's where we go there. Okay, so I'm going to go through the assembly here. So, that was... Ooh, a little bit bent there. That's okay, that's not too bad. So, that's the side that had the glue. So that goes there, the Bellows goes over there, that fits on, and then those screws fit in from the inside there. I don't think that this needs to be glued on this side. I don't really think that that needs to happen. The glue went here, so that's going to fit in there like that. And fit in there like that. And fit in there like that. This is where you start bending stuff. Yeah, I don't want to bend it. I don't want to bend the frame. It's a bit tight, isn't it? So, what's the alternative? The alternative is I put it one pleat. There are how-tos for making your own bellows online, but seriously, making bellows, I mean, just getting this material, that's a bit of a challenge in the first place, right? And getting a bellows to actually work, be light tight and fold up tightly, and I'm pretty happy to pay somebody who knows what they're doing a living wage to make it happen. Because I tell you what, it's a very neat trick. Okay, let's have a look at this. Okay, so they did cut that, didn't they? They did cut that. So maybe I've got to cut that bellows. Oh, I'm reluctant to cut that bellows. I am really reluctant to cut that bellows. Let me tell you, I'm reluctant to cut that bellows, but I might have to. Yeah. Will it fit? Yeah, that should fit. Oh, look, it's, yeah, oh, I'm going to just have to squish it in. It is very close, it is very, very close to fitting. Sorry. I say sorry because I'm pulling it close to me and you can't see what I'm doing, which isn't very useful for you. I felt that frame flex a little bit then, and that popped it in. See that? See that? Okay. There's a little bit of overlap there, but that's okay. It's centered there, it's centered there, it's centered there. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, let's fold that down, get that all folded properly. Yes. Now, that then folds over there like that, and when I glue it down. Yeah, see that? See that? That was where it's a very thin edge there. Yeah, which will be this edge here, so that's fine. Yeah, this is going to work. This is going to work. This is going to work nicely. Cool. Very good. Very nice. Okay, so that would go there. That then fits on there like that. And you can see why they use the two metal frames. That then now makes a very, very, very light tight seal. Very good. Particularly when that falls over there. Now, they did some tricky bellows cutting just there. Time to get the glue ready. I've got to put some contact adhesive along there, inside that edge, along the inside there, inside edge. I'll do that, and then along there, and then I've got to do a bit of cutty-wutty here, so that's all done as well. That's going to be a little bit tricky. Now this has got to be in the centre. That's about the centre. Okay, let's do this. You got it. Sometimes you just got to do it, eh? You've just got to do it. I'm going to use some Q-tips, or we call them cotton buds in Australia. Let's do this. So the trick with contact adhesive is, of course, you've got to put it on, let it dry. Alright, yeah, put it on and let it dry. And then you press it together at the end. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a little bit of masking tape. And mask that off. There we go. So I don't get any on my bellows there, because that wouldn't be happy at all. That wouldn't be happy. It wouldn't be fun at all. There we go. Now remember when I took that other bellows off, there was a little extra piece that covered this bit of metal here. Where are we? In there? See that? So when I trim the bellows, I need to cut a bit of bellows and glue it on that as well. Okay, this is good. This is good. We've got something happening here. Okay, great, cool. So hold that off. Now, where's my very sharp knife? I'm going to get a Of course, when I cut this, I've got to cut very, very sharply. Now, let's have a look at the old one. They had the corner so that it was folded up. See that? The corner was folded over very nicely over the metal. So I've got to do that here as well. There it is there. Okay, so... Okay, that looks like it's going down. This is going down. Okay. This is the bit that scares me, where you start cutting stuff. This is point of no return stuff, eh? Ah, look at that. Peeled it off. Okay. You can see now why I've got a sharp blade, eh? Oh, got myself. I cut myself on the back of the blade. Oh, true blood. There you go. Okay, look at this. This is good. Okay, that isn't good. So I need to put a little bit more glue on. Now remember, this bellows is actually also held on by the metal frame. Nice and light tight. So this is all good. This is all going to work well. Maybe I should have roughed it up with a bit of sandpaper or something before I did it. Anyway, okay, let's do this. Let's cut this. scary stuff when you start cutting into bellows, I tell you. Because you're not going back now, and you're not going to be able to get your money, not going to be able to get a refund either. Okay, that's looking okay. There we go. Here we go. Now that fits over there like that. In a little while. I can see why. I'm going to put a bit of that black, I haven't showed you yet, I've got this black auto body stuff. I'm going to put a little rub of that on there just to make sure that those corners are covered up, because I'm a little bit concerned that I might have not done the right thing. Okay, so let's trim this. Okay, where's some other screws gone? Have I lost them all? There's one there. Okay, let's make this one work. After battling, I finally got those screws into the front plate here. I ended up having to reduce the thickness of the bellows where it overlapped very carefully. I've now masked off the inside of the bellows. I've identified where the bottom is, where the seam is. I've masked it off. I've used some double-sided tape to stick the edges of the bellows out to hold them into the right place. I'm just about to put glue on these edges here and on this edge here, and this is we're getting down to finishing up time. Thank goodness. I'm getting a bit over it, to be honest. Yeah, anyway, that's it. Okay, so that's that. Okay, now we're getting to the end here. I'm going to put a little bit in here, into the corners. Make sure the corners stick down. Okay. Now this is contact adhesive, so I've got to put it in the right place and hope it's in the right place in the right time the first time, right? So okay. Okay, I've marked this top. Marked it top. Now, how I'm going to do this so it's in the right spot at the right time. Okay. I did a quick trial, so I know it's got to be a little bit up near the top here. And it's already stuck. Okay, I've done it. Let's make sure it's square. Exactly. I'm using a little bit of book binding tape for that that flap that covered up the metal plate, which is the spring for the rotating back. The little spring detent. There we go. And that's the seam on the bottom, and that's definitely the bottom. I mean, that's one of the things with contact adhesive, right? You do it, boom, it's done. None of this waiting around for it to dry. Boom, it's done. Okay, you can see a little bit of the black edge there. That's actually a little bit of bellows that could be cut off. Just that bit there. I'm going to let that dry. I think that's fairly straight. Cool, good. Okay, let's put the standard back on. There we go. Down, down, and there you have it. There you have it, look. Folds in. And oh yeah, good, look at that. That's very nice, isn't it? That's very nice, isn't it? Hey, I'm going to be very proud to use this. You see, I get very proud using stuff that I've fixed up. I feel a big sense of pride in that. The other thing that I've done to this camera, which you would know about, is I've lubricated all of the movements and generally got it moving very nicely indeed. So, yeah. Now tomorrow I've still got to trim the last of the bit of that bellows off the inside. That's not a deal breaker or anything. I'm not happy with how tight this is, but I'm not going to do anything about it. Alright, and it just might need a bit of use. There we go, look at that. And my glass is here. And I actually made this out of cardboard and book binding tape. I made this protector and I put some wood grain on it to make it look like the rest of the camera. How's that? Easy peasy.